local all morning. You're watching Fox 61 Morning News.
Oh, it's a cold one out there, especially after the wind we had yesterday. But good morning to you. We're going to tell you what you can expect as you head into the weekend. Of course, we're all excited about that. Happy Friday. Thanks so much for starting off with us here at Fox 61 and Fox 61 Plus, America Areas.
And I'm Bridget Fiora. It's going to be a great day, of course, because it is Friday. Meteorologist Rachel Piscatelli is joining us now with all the details on the weather front. And Rachel, it's another breezy one out there.
It most certainly is another breezy one today. We have a breezy day, but a cold one too. Temperatures feeling like the single digits as you just saw, although our air temperature is hovering around the teens in the 20s. 27 in New Haven, 22 in Hartford right now, and 17 in Torrington. But taking a look at our wind gusts, they're up towards about 30 right now in Bridgeport, 23-mile-per-hour gusts in southeastern Connecticut. We have a reported gust towards Putnam at 22. So that's taking the numbers down to about 11 degrees in Putnam. 12 is what it feels like in Groton. It feels like 8 degrees in Torrington, as well as Windsor Locks. And those are the numbers you want to dress for as you head outside this morning. Into the afternoon, we could see potential gusts 25 to 30 miles per hour. It is not as windy as yesterday, but we'll take the real feel down to the teens and the lower 20s for most of the day today. By 3 o'clock, 33 degrees, but it feels like the mid 20s. So for this afternoon, 34 in Southington, high temperature in Branford, 36 degrees. Southeastern Connecticut will be in the mid 30s as well. So another day spent below average with a lot of sun hanging around. Heading through tonight, temperatures dropping back into the 20s. It's a cold start to our Saturday. Now, Saturday is mostly dry and cloudy. However, by Saturday night into Sunday, we are bringing an opportunity for some accumulating snow. Now, this is going to be between 9 and about 10 o'clock on Sunday morning. Times of snow, which could lead to some slippery travel out there. It's not a blockbuster system for us. We're thinking 1 to 2 inches of snow statewide. Some of us may fall even under that with just a coating in spots, but we'll walk you through that hour by hour and kind of talk you through it so you can better prepare for your weekend plans coming up in just a bit. Here at 6:02, we are largely quiet across the state with the road work mostly clear this morning, which is certainly some good news. So taking a look over in West Hartford on 84 east and westbound, volume is light at this hour. And your drive here from Hartford into Waterbury around 31 minutes, Waterbury into Hartford 29. And as we look to Route 8, Naugatuck to Seymour is a 10-minute drive. Bridget and Erica.
Rachel, thanks. 6:02 right now and happening today, another court hearing in what has become one of Connecticut's most disturbing child abuse cases. Attorneys for the aunt of 11-year-old Jacqueline Mimi Torres Garcia is going to face a judge.
Fox 61's Priscilla Meza is joining us live from right outside the courthouse today. And Priscilla, what can we expect at today's hearing?
Yeah, good morning, Bridget and Erica. Well, today, Jacqueline Garcia, as you remember, is the aunt of Mimi, the 11-year-old girl whose remains were found inside a plastic container behind an abandoned building in New Britain back in October. Now, Garcia has pleaded not guilty already to charges including unlawful restraint, risk of injury to a minor, and intentional cruelty to a person. Now, the chief medical examiner determined Mimi's cause of death was fatal child abuse with starvation. Now, investigators say her family used homeschooling as a cover for her absence. Mimi's mother, Carla Garcia, is charged with murder and is being held on a $5 million bond. Her case was continued to December 19th. And Jonathan Anita, her mother's ex-boyfriend, is also charged with murder with special circumstances. Now, he's due back in court on December 16th and also on a $5 million bond. Meanwhile, Mimi's estate has filed notice to sue the Department of Children and Families, accusing DCF of negligence and seeking $100 million in damages. We will be inside the courtroom today and be bringing you the latest updates on air and online, so definitely keep up with that. But for now, live in Torrington, Priscilla Meza, Fox 61.
All right, Priscilla, thank you for that. And also happening today, former funeral home director Philip Pietres is expected back in court for a plea hearing. He's expected to plead in all of the charges against him. Police accuse him of scamming families who trusted him with pre-planned funeral contracts. This came after several people reported fraud at the funeral home. A major development in the case of Randy Cox. The man left paralyzed after a police transport van incident in 2022. A judge agreed to a decision to try 3 New Haven police officers who were involved. Oscar Diaz, Jocelyn Lavender, and Luis Riviera are all charged with reckless endangerment and negligent cruelty to persons. It involves the 2022 police transport incident that left Cox paralyzed. Cox was arrested on weapons charges, and during the act of arresting him, he was left unrestrained in the back of a van when that van stopped suddenly, causing him to hit his head and his neck. He's now paralyzed from the mid-chest down. Former Sergeant Betsy Segui and Ronald Presley took plea deals, but the other 3 rejected them. Diaz was reinstated earlier this year after the State Labor Board overturned his termination. Their next court date is scheduled for January 29th, with tentative jury selection starting February 9th in New Haven.
A 17-year-old boy in Hartford was hurt in a shooting last night. Officers responded to Heartland Street just before 7 p.m. That's in the Blue Hills neighborhood. The teen was alert and conscious when officers arrived, and he is expected to recover. Police haven't given us any information about a suspect, but of course, as we learn more, we'll get you updated. And health officials say the state's first measles case in 4 years is an unvaccinated child who attends Christian Heritage School in Trumbull. Now, the Department of Public Health says that the case serves as an important reminder that vaccination is still the most effective way to prevent measles. The state maintains a 98% vaccination rate among kindergartners, but measles cases are spiking nationwide. The CDC reports nearly 2,000 cases this year. That's the most measles since measles was declared eliminated in 2000. Health officials say that the Trumbull child recently traveled outside the country and developed symptoms after returning home. The state is now working to trace any possible exposures.
Sometimes people forget the impact of a disease, and we've had 25 years of small outbreaks here and there, but they were able to be quashed in their place. What we've seen this year is more sustained transmission around the country, around other countries.
A letter sent to parents says the child was in school on December 4th, and all unvaccinated or under-vaccinated students and staff must now stay home through December 25th.
6:07 now. If your morning commute takes you through Thompson Avenue in Waterbury, do expect delays and detours to continue. It comes as crews wait for parts to arrive so they can finish repairs to a broken water main. We told you about this as breaking news yesterday morning. Fox 61's Tim Latow spoke to business owners in the area who say they want people to know that their businesses are still open.
Crews are working from sunup and late into the night to get the repairs made as quickly as possible. But much of the progress hinges on a valve that has to be shipped here. And for local businesses, it can't come soon enough.
It's actually been like a real trying run for us because the road's been closed. We only have one-way traffic. A lot of people are finding it difficult to get here, so our sales have been a little bit lower than we would like.
Thomaston Avenue remains closed as a result of a water main break that began Wednesday and likely won't be finished until later next week. It's slowing down traffic and business at local shops like Hindsight Barbecue. And next door, Skytop Nails says dozens of people have canceled their appointments.
Yeah, customers have a trouble to complain. And then they can park and then they can't go inside.
The businesses and city want customers to know they are open and accessible. Just be prepared to take a detour. Mayor Paul Pernerowski Jr. says a specific valve is currently being shipped, but won't be able to be installed until sometime next week.
We are in the process of bringing in the parts. We have the drop gates that we can put in. We've ordered some of these parts ahead of time. The valve replacement will occur. None of that will require the loss of water to anyone, so there's going to be no shutdown of water at this point.
Pernerowski says the city is prone to dozens of water main breaks every year, as some parts of the system are estimated to be 130 years old. He says some repairs can cost the city more than $500,000 each.
We spent a lot of time over the summer on the 30-inch break on Huntington Avenue. It was in the summer. It was relatively warm out. This is more typically what happens with water breaks. They happen in this frigid cold weather as the ground shifts because of the frost and the temperature changes. Over the course of a normal year, we have about 30 or 40 of these breaks in any given year. This is typical of that.
The cold weather and free-flowing water couldn't have landed at a worse time of the season for Hindsight Barbecue, as customers need to run in to pick up their holiday catering orders, but staff are able to keep on cooking with help from the city.
Sort of like the nightmare before Christmas, but we're still trying to think positive and stay positive about it. We are working very closely with the city of Waterbury. They've been gracious to help us find a way to get people to still be able to get here.
City leaders say the water is safe to use and drink. They recommend letting the water run for a couple of minutes if it appears discolored. In Waterbury, Tim Lateau, Fox 61.
All right, a little sports news now at 6:10. UConn gets a familiar face on the sidelines today as former Xavier coach Sean Miller returns to Hartford, but now he's leading Texas.
Miller is one of the few coaches to beat the Huskies multiple times, but he's also been on the wrong end of some of UConn's biggest blowouts. The 5th-ranked Huskies ended the matchup 9-1 as they are closing out a pretty tough non-conference slate before Big East play begins. We'll have live coverage before the game on the news at 5 and 6. You can watch the 5th-ranked Huskies tonight. Tip-off is at 8 right here on Fox 61. And be sure to stay with us for the news at 10 right after the game. It's going to be a fun night for sure.